Hello there, YouTube. I hope all you all are well. It has been a while. It has been a stretch. My health is not all that good. I get exhausted very, very easily, and I have to spend a lot of time resting. But I do want to come back and make some more videos for you. And I have rekindled my love of paper. And I have also discovered scripture writing, and I'm having an absolute wonderful time getting to know the words of the Lord and just creating a journal for me to put all of my scriptures in. And I have ordered a Bible journal that will allow you to color and to make the pages your own and colorful and joyful. And I'll be doing more journals, and I'm kind of starting this on the back end of my process, meaning that I've already created my Bible journal. In this video, I'm going to show you a flip through my journal. And again, it's raw. It's using junk mail and a paper bag for the cover. So I'll be making lots of different types of journals and elements for journals. I've also rekindled my love for watercolors, and I'm going to be doing some painting on the channel as well. And I'll be doing abstract watercolor, gouache. And for those of you who are originals, who have been on my channel for a very, very long term, I may actually start doing creeples again. Now, if you don't know what creeples are, it was a term that I gave to creepy people. And by that, I mean, I take pictures of people and I cut them up and I mix up parts, if you will, and we put them down as collage, and we have a lot of fun with them. It is a complete giggle fest, and I've had the greatest time with all y'all. I used to do my live streams doing creeples, and I'd have input from the audience, and we just had an absolute blast. And I think that I want to make I want to do creeples again, and I hope that you will stick around and join me for that. I'll be doing other crafts. I'll be doing maybe crochet and other things of that sort. I am using fabric for my journals and for my collage and things of that sort. But at this point in my life, I don't have the strength or the stamina to do quilting. So the paper crafting is easier for me. I can just sit here at my table and do whatever it is that I need to do with the books or with painting or with creeples or collage. So I'll be doing all sorts of crafts that I started back in the beginning of my channel. And I'm hoping that you will stick around. I'm hoping that you will share my channel with your friends and your family and ask them to please subscribe to help me grow my channel. I'll be doing, well, now, YouTube doesn't like this, so I will be rehoming things to some of you. Contests, giveaways, that kind of sort of thing. So I'll be doing that. So we're going to have a lot of fun, and I do hope that you will join me, and I do hope that you will share my channel with your friends and on your social medias. Let me turn the camera around and we can get started looking at the Bible journal. Here is my journal in all its squishiness and loveliness. It has tons of lace and fabric on it. I made a fabric cover for it. It has 3 overstuffed signatures. And this thing will explode by the time I'm done with it. May not even be able to close, and I am perfectly happy with that. I have used a paper bag for the cover. So here is my inside cover, and if you are an old timer to my channel, then you'll recognize some of the wallpaper that I had. I used to collect wallpaper sample books and take them apart. So I put a nice little pocket here. Yes, I think it might be a wee bit too wide, so I may cut it down to about here, and that'll give it easier access. But the reason that I was doing that was to cover the knot from the big button that I put here. What I did was I punched 2 grommets in here to sew the button to, and then on the back I tied a knot here, and I took a piece of cardstock and put it over it, and it wasn't very pretty, so I decided that I'd put some of this wallpaper on here to make a pocket. And to glue it down, I used some of this Beacon Fabri-Tac. This is the first page, and this is all made out of packing materials and junk mail and book pages. This first junk mail folder, I took a piece of white tissue paper, and I actually have a page in here of white tissue paper, and I crinkled it up in my hands a lot, spread it out, smoothed it out, crinkled it again, and then I took some paints and some stamp colors and just went over the highlights to give it colorful ridges. And then I had a piece of painty paper from many, many years ago, from probably 10 or so years ago, and I hand tore it into the shape of a cross, and I fixed some pretty flower stickers and a home sweet home sticker, and I spread some of this Cristal gel hologram medium over the edges here just to give it a wee bit of sparkle, and I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, and there's that page. This was from an accounting textbook that came out in 1936, I believe. And I've done some silly sewing on here and some fabric, and I've left things long. We can put dangles on them. Again, these were all junk mail envelopes that I collaged over. I put book pages over them and did some more silly sewing and more fabric. And this one I left exposed, this envelope, as it is from Samaritan's Purse. And if you're looking to find a charitable donation place, Samaritan's Purse, boy oh boy, they showed up a few days after Helene came through Ashe County and destroyed it, and they set up house and they took care of us for months. So Samaritan's Purse is my charity of choice, and it has beautiful references to verses, likewise Luke 10:37, and just a whole bunch of others. And I wanted that to stay visible, and I just covered up the bare patches, and I did some silly page tabs. And this is from an antique telephone book that I found years ago. And yes, it's falling apart. And I just love the paper. I just love it. So I use that a lot in this journal. And again, envelopes that had the windows, I left most of the windows open so that you could see them, and then I pasted fancy papers on the back. This is from this book called A Victorian Flower Album, Book of Days. It's a diary. So on the back of each page is a section for writing, and then you have a beautiful picture over here. So I use that quite a bit in here. So I lined up the pansies that were on the page with this window, and then I just sewed around it, and now there's a nice journal spot here. And we have a tuck spot here that I sewed down. And I used some wonky fabrics for some of the seams or some of the tabs or the ruffles. I wanted it to be fun and full of interest, and much of this may end up getting covered when I start putting on the scriptures. I will, as neatly as I can, write out the scripture on some nice paper that I've gotten, and then I will put that down and then decorate it with stamps and paint and any number of things, just to make it more interesting and more enjoyable to look at. And I have 3 signatures in the book, and they are very, very full. And I've left the strings long. I used pearl cotton to sew the signatures in, and I will add dangles to that. So they will droop down here. And then one of the books that I used quite a bit of was a butterfly book, and I tried to leave as much of the butterflies intact as possible. Again, this is another envelope, again with the silly wonky seam border. And again, some more of the fancy paper. I also have a book I also have this book. This is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and it is by Edith Holden. And this was it's from 1906. So the book is absolutely stunning. It's all handwritten like this. And then she just has all these beautiful images in here. It's just glorious. It really, really is. So I'm using this book, and I'm trying to feature as much of the page as possible so that you can enjoy the handwriting and enjoy the beautiful sketches that she's put in here. So it's just beautiful. I also have music pages, and I also have this fun thing. This is, not sure when this came out. I think 1960s somewhere. 600,000 copies of the Sears catalog were distributed in the spring of 1902. Sears attempted to convince his customers that they were saving money by paying for his catalog, but apparently he was not overly successful. Subsequent catalogs were again offered for free. But this is just a fabulous book. This paper is extremely delicate, and if you give it a very sharp crease, it will just snap off. But it is delightful to use, and you get all sorts of silly things. You got music. My mother had a bell harp. Oh, that was cool. But just about anything and everything that you can think of. Uh-oh, pew-pews. Scissors. Knibbies. Lots of knibbies. Suspender things. Oh no, these are strops to sharpen your razor if you're the barber of Seville. Some of the pages I painted, and I've made another little pocket here, tuck spot. Yep, some of the pages were put upside down deliberately just to give it some more interest. Again, much of this might be covered by the time I get done. And I made some wonky page tabs here And I've sewn down some loose threads there. Here's one of the butterfly book pages. Just so beautiful. So beautiful. My gracious. Here is some gold foiled PET stickers, washi tape, clear washi tape, small pages, large pages. This is a fold out and has more windows. I put some beautiful tulips in here, and I backed it with a piece of the Edith Holden book text. Here's another full page from the Edith Holden book. This is signature number 2. And here's that Sears Roebuck catalog page. More butterflies. And then this has a fold out, some music papers. More envelopes. That was double-sided. And this is a pocket. More Sears and Roebuck. More Sears and Roebuck. Some music paper. More butterflies. So beautiful. So beautiful. My gracious. And here's the center of the second signature, again with the long thread left. Another pretty butterfly. Some of the pages I made crooked deliberately just to give it a wee bit of interest. Here is another page, I believe. Oh, this came from, let's see. These lilacs came from this book called Collage Papers, Vintage Illustrations, and it's in pastel shades. And it's very, very pretty. And some fabric on the edge here. And this is a fold out, and there's more of the lilacs, and I've made a small paper tag in here. I haven't made embellishments for this, but this piece was laying on my desk, so I said, well, let me use it. Here's one of those nasty little things that I've gotten stung by. And here's some more music, and this is more of a tuck spot than a flip out because I sewed right along here. So this is a tuck spot. Another butterfly. Some more silly stuff from Sears and Roebuck. These are electric Heidelberg belts. And they go around your waist and electrocute you in all sorts of different ways. Another beautiful butterfly, and I've left the lace edging long for dangles. This is the beginning of the third signature. And this is the white paper that I used on the first page. White packing paper. More music with silly wonky tabs. And this is some threads that came off of a piece of upholstery fabric, and I sewed them down with a piece of lace. Here is another envelope, again with something pretty in behind it. Another wonky page using the accounting book. This is a flip out. This is an old painty paper that I had. That's actually a magazine page. And then here is the center of the third signature. Again, I've left the threads long. Another flip out. And a nice long window in there. Wonky page. Okay. Some more wonkiness going on. I really had fun sewing on all of these pages. You can see I played around with the thread pattern pretty butterfly, another long tag. And that is the end of the book. And then on the back page, I've left the opening for the paper bag. So it goes as far as this third signature, and that's where it's going to stop. And if you can see in here, I used a piece of this fabric and glued it down, and then I tore the center of it in half, and I'm using that to tie my cover closed. And you've got a nice big pocket here where you can put all sorts of goodies, stickers, or whatever. If you want to take this to the park and sit on a bench and do it, some photographs, anything you like in there to use. You could actually stick your pens in there. So just have fun with it. I can't wait to start using it. So what do you need to make your own journal? You're going to need a brown paper grocery bag, and you will need lots of junk mail envelopes, some old books that you can use to cut up. You're going to need scissors, paper trimmers, glue, matte medium. I used matte medium on some of the pages, gesso, and paints of your choice, stamps of your choice, washi tape, ephemera. Again, books, I have chopped up lots of books. And I wanted to make a note about that because some people get offended when you chop up books. But these books were sitting unloved in a thrift store. Nobody wanted them, nobody was reading them, and if the thrift store can't sell them, they dispose of them, which means they go into the landfill. And I would much rather turn old books into something like this, to treasure and to enjoy, than to see it go into the landfill. So yes, I do cut up books, and I do use the covers. I use all of the pages. I don't throw any of them away. I use them for collage. I use them for page bases and all sorts of other things. I'm going to be making some fanciful elements that go on here. I'll be doing tuck spots. I'll be doing pockets. I'll be doing corner edges and all sorts of fun and different types of ways to decorate this journal and make it your own. You'll need scrap fabric, which I have tons of, as you know. Scrap lace, more scrap fabrics. Don't throw these little tiny things away because you can make fun page tabs with them. Just cut them and sew them right there on the page. Or you can sew them down and ruffle them, and they'll make a cute little ruffle. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with this, and you won't be throwing out your fabrics, your waste fabric. You won't be throwing away your scraps. Of course, I'm using my sewing machine, but you do not have to use a sewing machine. You don't have to have one. If you do, fine. Start playing because it can be very, very fun. What I would suggest is if you don't have a sewing machine, you can do faux stitching. You can just take a pen and just draw little marks. You could do zigzags, you could do straight stitch, you could do anything you want. And you could use that as page edging, or you don't have to have page edging. Cardboard boxes. These boxes are worth their weight in gold, and cereal boxes are, I would say, the most useful for journal making because of their large size, and they have a nice width for the spine. Again, mine, I did the paper bag cover, and I just really love the way it comes together, and it lays flat when you're working on it, and it just has a nice squishy feel, and you can hear the paper rustling, and I just love that sound. So again, you don't have to make this a Bible journal or a scripture writing journal. You can make this anything you want. It could be a glue book. That would be a fabulous, fabulous idea. You could have 50 or 60 barcodes that you took off your grocery boxes, and you could just glue them into the page, and you could color them. You could do anything you want with them. You could do, again, junk mail. You could do envelopes. You could do anything you want in this journal of yours. Make it your own. Doesn't have to be scripture. It could be anything you like. In my next video, I will be showing you how to put together one of these books. We can start playing. I'm going to be working on a much smaller scale for the first book so that you don't get overwhelmed with making a mega journal like this. And we'll start small. We can explore different binding techniques, different covers, different page formations, all sorts of fun things to do. You can do some crazy fold outs and just have fun with it. It can be so much fun, and it's very, very rewarding to see these beautiful books on your shelves. And it's even more rewarding to take this book on your table and start writing in it, no matter what it is that you're writing. Or gluing, if you want to make a recipe book of your favorite recipes. Here you go. If you want to preserve your family's passed down cooking recipes, here you go. Put them in here, put matte medium over them to protect the pages. It'll be your cookbook. Obviously, you probably don't want this sitting too close to your stove because poof. We don't want poof. Yes, I need a haircut. Mama needs a haircut very, very soon. So I do hope that you will join me in this project as we explore journal making and having all sorts of fun. I hope that you will join me for my watercolor painting and also for my scripture writing. We're going to be doing scripture writing. I have a dot journal that I've been using for that as well. Bible journaling. I have a new Bible journal coming, and I'm very, very excited about it. It has over 400 illustrations in it that you can color in, and you can decorate the pages. The paper is thicker and more durable, so it can handle, I wouldn't say a lot of paint, but it could certainly handle a little bit, or some fancy sprays, some glittery sprays. So you could do that. You can collage on those pages. And that's another thing I'll be doing is collage, because I love gluing paper down. Paper, fabric, buttons, you name it. I love gluing that kind of stuff down. I love buttons. And I saw a really cool technique of a binding that has buttons on it. And it's so easy. It's so easy. As you pull the thread out here at the top, you put buttons down here, and then you go back in the journal. You come back out and you put buttons down here. So you just line buttons down here. It doesn't really take any more time. It takes time picking the buttons out, but otherwise it's a lot of fun, and it really looks very, very nice. I'm excited about this. I've missed you all so very, very much. I want to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for sticking around, for checking on me, for leaving comments, asking where I am. And my health is not good, and I get tired very, very easy. So at this point in time, I believe that I will be doing one video a week. I might have a bad week, and I may have to push it out to one video every 2 weeks. So we're just going to play it by ear. And with your support and your love, we will have lots and lots of fun here back on the channel. I've missed you terribly. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this because I have been dreaming of this journal for the past couple of weeks while I worked on making it. I am going to get out of here. I'm going to give you a little bit of scripture at the end. And it's going to be Isaiah 43:1, which is my favorite verse. I will see you on the next video. God bless you all. I hope that Jesus' light and love covers you forever, and that you can walk with him in your journey, knowing that he is our salvation. God bless everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.